When I think back on the patients that I've worked with in the last several years, there are some very specific characteristics of a successful lymphedema patient that I'd like to share. And I think foremost is their willingness in educating themselves through this course of treatment. Because what we do is a two-part treatment system. The first part is the initial reduction of the limb, and so it's the active part of treatment. The second part is what we call a maintenance phase, where the patient takes over their self-care, whether it involves the manual lymph drainage and the compression bandaging, donning and doffing the sleeve, things like that. The successful patient is able to get themselves back up off the floor after the initial treatment when they're so overwhelmed by all the information they've received. And their head is spinning, and it's like, oh my goodness, what has happened, and where do I go? And they're able to come back in and say, and acknowledge that, yeah, this was very overwhelming and I was in tears, but I'm back. And I'm ready to take this on, and I'm ready to take on the requirement of the day-to-day care. Lymphedema treatment involves 4 to 5 days a week of treatment, and it incorporates an hour to 2 hours of treatment time each day that they come in. And a part of that is then wearing a compression bandage for 22 out of 24 hours a day. And right there people are going, but how do I function? How do I cook? How do I clean? How do I do this? How do I... Step back and take a deep breath. So the patients who are able to do that and able to look at this okay, this is a process. This is a learning tool. This is a learning time. This is a time where I'm being treated, where we can get the swelling down. I try to encourage patients to look at that bandaging as kind of like a cast. It's a temporary thing. You're not going to be in this compression bandage for the rest of your life, 22 hours, 24 hours a day. You're going to be in it for 2 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever the length of time is necessary to get that swelling down. So trying to encourage them to see that it is temporary, that it is a method to helping us accomplish their goal. And when they can see that and take that on as their goal and claim it as their own, that is so important, because then we can work as a team. And it is really, really important for their participation. And when the patient is unable to participate as much as fully, then to have a family member to participate in that, or a caregiver, or someone else who could come in alongside and help them out through this process. So definitely in the form of being receptive to the education, definitely in the form of being receptive to, yeah, I'm going to be cooped up in this bandage, and yes, in hot weather it gets to be really uncomfortable, but I can do this. And then also too, knowing that we're not here to try to confine them in that. If there are ways that we can adjust the amount of bandaging depending upon where and the amount of their swelling, we'll certainly try to do that. If they're unable to tolerate the bandaging, then we try to come up with some other alternatives that will help with getting the swelling out and going from there and working with them in that.